Welcome to Evolution. We are so excited to have you. And if you are a current talent and just need a little bit of a refresher on the casting sites, thank you for tuning in. My name is Julia, and I am the new face director here at Evolution. And the first thing that I really like to talk about are headshots. Headshots are so important. We recommend starting off with 2 shots: a commercial look, which is a photo of you smiling, you're showing your beautiful teeth. And then the next headshot we recommend getting is a theatrical look. Theatrical look is just going to be a little more serious, a little bit more theatrical. And so those are the two main photos. And then we like to have some character shots, and I'll talk about those here in a few minutes. But your headshots are so important because you want to make sure that you are competing against our other working actors. So it's very important to have a strong headshot. It really is like your first audition because it's the first thing that casting sees. So you want to make sure that you have a really great headshot. We sent out a list of some of our recommended photographers, and they know exactly what we're looking for. They know what casting is looking for. So that's why we send that list out of photographers that we recommend using, just because they do this all the time and they're very familiar with specifically actors' headshots. A couple of other things you may saw in your welcome packet are vouchers. And what a voucher is, it's like your little time card. So on the voucher, you'll write your name, the project title, the date, and the time you were on set. And then you'll take a picture of it within 48 hours and send it to the booking agent. Whoever books you for that job, that's who you'll send it to. And you'll want to make sure that you get someone from production to sign it. So it's just proof that you were on set, but on both ends. You were on set, and then production confirmed you were on set. So that is the importance of a voucher. Like I said, that will get emailed to the booking agent within 48 hours of the time that you were working on that project. So let's talk a little bit about some on-set expectations. You want to make sure that you are on time, and being on time in this industry means being 10 to 15 minutes early. Okay, and I know in Charlotte we have crazy traffic. I definitely know Atlanta has crazy traffic. So I understand and we appreciate if you would like to be somewhere early, but 10 to 15 minutes is really the rule of thumb. If you show up an hour early, then we recommend, going to a coffee shop or bringing a book to read in your car just until you hit that 10 to 15 minute mark of your call time. Also, please make sure that you are confirming or declining projects. It's very important. If it gives you the option and it asks for a reason of why you are declining, just make sure it is a professional reason. Also, don't leave any audition requests open. Just make sure that you're being responsive. If you are someone like me who gets a ton of emails, whether it's coupons or ads, whatever the case may be, and things kind of get lost in the shuffle, I recommend creating a new email account strictly for this industry, for your business. So that way you're not missing anything that comes through that's important. So just keep that in mind. And now we will go ahead and get started with talking about the casting sites. All right, here we go. We require 3 casting sites: 800 Casting, Actors Access, and Casting Networks. All 3 are very important, but 800 Casting has all of your information. It's like a database for us on the agency side as well. So here is what's very important. You want to make sure you have your name, your date of birth, your social security, and your social security is really important because at the end of the year, when it is tax time, we're going to need that social security number to get you your tax information. So it's just a lot easier if we have it already than trying to hunt you down and get it from you. So that is where your social would go. All right, if you are a minor, you can put your trust information in here as well. If you have a passport, things like that, all of that information goes in here. And it's just really good to have all that information. Your union data, you want to make sure that you are checking off your union affiliation. So if you're non-union, SAG, SAGI, whatever you are, make sure you are selecting that. Agents and managers. So this is where Evolution is going to go. Evolution is one company, but we have two offices. We have an office in Charlotte and then an office in Atlanta. So it will require two separate codes, and both of those codes are in your handbook. So that is where you will put those codes. Very important. Talent data. So here's where your contact information goes. Your email address, your home address, your telephone number. You can put your IMDb account, your personal website, your Instagram. You can put all kinds of stuff here. So it's very important that you have your correct email right here, because that's how we send you notifications as far as bookings, or if there's workshops in the area, or if there's a photographer that comes in the area that we think everybody should know about. So make sure you have the correct email in here, okay? Home address. So make sure you put your home address, your mailing address, because when we go to mail you your payment, this is where we go to find your address. And if it's an old address, then your payment is going to be delayed, and you don't want that. You want your money. So just keep that in mind. If you move, make sure you are updating this. Same with your telephone number. Make sure it is the correct number and it is updated. Nearest location. This is a required field as well. You want to put your nearest major city. It does not necessarily mean it doesn't have to be Charlotte or Atlanta. If you're near Columbia or Myrtle Beach, whatever the case may be, just put your nearest major city here. All right, appearance. So this is very, very, very important. And this is kind of where people start to, I hate to say it, but slack off a little bit, because it is a lot of information. But I promise, make sure that you are completing it, okay? So let's say, for example, a breakdown comes through that says we need a female Native American between 5 foot and 6 foot. If I didn't have this information in here, I just lost out on an opportunity because my profile wouldn't come up. So when we do searches, we put in the requirements that casting sends to us, and we put that information in, and that's how your profile comes up. So you want to make sure that you are completely filling it out. Your gender, your eye color, hair color, length, all of this, your sizes. Make sure you're completely filling out everything. Okay. Here in skills, this is what you are trained in and have training in up here. Okay. If you have any objections, make sure you check that off. And unfortunately, we don't have the opportunity to read every single breakdown, every single script that comes through. So if there is something that you're not comfortable with, just decline the project. Again, if you are confirming or declining, it is fine, but ignoring the email is where it's a problem. So if something comes through that you're not comfortable with, just decline the project, okay? Languages and accents, again, fill this out as complete as possible, because if a breakdown comes through that says, hey, we need someone who can speak German. If you can speak German, but you didn't check that off, you just lost out on another opportunity, okay? So very important to select that. Specialized training. If you have any kind of training, you can check that off here. With that being said, don't lie, okay? If you have never ridden a horse before, don't say that you're a professional horseback rider, because when you get on set and you have to be a professional horseback rider and you don't know how to get on a horse, that's gonna be a problem. So just be honest, okay? Sports, music, and dance. This has an amateur button or a check mark, so there's a little more flexibility here. Again, still be honest, but make sure you are completing all of this. Same with music and dance. All right, here we go. Here's the big one, resume builder. This is so, so important, and so many people do not do this. And you need to do it, because if you don't have a resume, casting's not gonna look at you. And by resume, I also mean training as well, okay? So let's just talk about your resume. All right, over here on the left-hand side is gonna be the name of the project, okay? Here in the middle is gonna be your role. So were you a principal, were you a featured extra, co-star, recurring, whatever role you have, that's what's gonna go here. Over here on the right-hand side is gonna be the director or the production company. So to add all of this in here, you're gonna click on Add New. You're going to select the category and name of the project, the credit, and the director, the production company, and then save it. Super easy, okay? Moving on to training. What you wanna do is make sure that you're typing in the exact title of the class or the workshop. There's already some categories in here, but they're so incredibly vague. Acting is so vague. So make sure that you are typing out the entire class. So acting for the camera. Here's the trick. Don't hit enter because it'll default back to acting. You wanna hit tab and that'll go to the next line, allowing you to add the acting for the camera, okay? You'll put the instructor and then the location, okay? So just keep that in mind when you are going through this training section to actually add the title of the class. Okay, here we go with photos. All right, we talked a little bit about some character shots and some commercial shots and some theatrical shots. Here are some character shots. So here's an example of a commercial look. Here's an example of a theatrical look. And here are some character shots down here. So really think about what's filming here in the Southeast. We have The Walking Dead, we have some vampire stuff. We've got a lot going on here in the Southeast, the Ozarks, things like that. So think about what's filming, and that's kind of what a character shot is. So something that I didn't know is I was under the impression that casting saw all of these pictures. So I was like, well, why do I need, all of these other pictures? Well, casting does not see all of this. So when a breakdown comes through and we read the character description and it says, let's use The Walking Dead, for example. The Walking Dead comes through. This might be the character shot that gets submitted for an audition because it's a very raw look, and that's what The Walking Dead is, very post-apocalyptic stuff. So just keep that in mind. Character shots are very, very important because we really try to correlate the breakdown with the headshot, okay? Video reels. For 800 casting, this is where your video reel is gonna go. And casting really likes they're not watching 3-minute long video reels anymore. So I have mine kind of split up by category. So if you have a comedic reel, upload it and write a description. If you have a dramatic reel, you're gonna wanna upload that, add a description. So that's where this is gonna go. Now for 800 casting, they want to see something. So even if you want to perform a monologue, a good quality monologue in front of a blue screen and upload that to 800, that is fine. That's not okay for Actors Access, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but for 800, they want to see something. So if you have a monologue, then you can absolutely put it up here as long as the quality is good, the lighting, sound is nice and professional. Also, do not upload auditions that you have filmed to these sites. A lot of that is private information, so just keep that in mind. Don't upload any auditions on here or any of the other sites, okay? Voiceovers, if you do voiceovers, that's where this is gonna go. If you are a singer and you have a clip of you singing with a piano in the background, then that is where this is going to go. They're kind of strict with copyright, so just keep that in mind. A verse and a chorus with maybe a piano in the background is fine. All right, moving on to Actors Access. So here, again, you want to make sure these these profiles are as complete as possible. And with that being said, Actors Access, again, they're all very important, but Actors Access is where a lot of the TV and film breakdowns come through. So you want to completely fill out your About Me section and your size card, okay? So let's talk about your resume. Make sure that you have completed this section, okay? All of this is so important. So there is not a separate tab for training. It's all going to be here in one place under the resume. So you will create a header. So let's say you have a TV film credit you would like to add. Okay, you'll click header, type in TV film, and then you'll type in the television show, your role, and the director or the production company. All right, so that is how you do that. Same with training. You're gonna add the exact title of the class or the workshop, the instructor, and then the location. And then again, same up here, name of the project, your role, and then the director or the production company. So you've already put it in 800 casting, so you can just copy and paste it and bring it over instead of retyping everything. You have to copy and paste each line and make it nice and organized, but it's a lot easier, I think, than just retyping everything. Just copy and paste. Okay. Photos. Again, very important. You get 2 free photos with Actors Access, your commercial and your theatrical, and make sure that you are attaching it to Evolution. And when you go to upload those photos, it'll give you that option. Okay. Then you will want to upload your character shots. So keep that in mind. Those character shots are very, very important. Okay. So that way we can submit that character shot along with that role. Also, something that is very important is you see where it says add slate shot. What is a slate shot? So a slate shot is essentially your headshot that has come to life. You will say your name. If you're over 18, it'll be your name, your height, and then a full body shot. And then if you are under 18, it'll be your name, your date of birth, and then you will pan out to a full body shot. And I'll show you an example.
Hey, I'm Corey Fry, and I'm 6'1".
So that's it. That's all a slate shot is. So if you decide, hey, I want to do a slate shot for my commercial look, it's going to be a little more upbeat. These are very short clips. They're only 7 seconds long, and that's max. You do not have to do a slate shot for every single photo, but if you do one for your commercial look, then make sure it's a little more upbeat. And then if you do one for your theatrical look, it's going to be a little more theatrical. So keep that in mind. These slate shots are very important, especially if you don't have any credited work. And we're going to talk about that right now. Okay, here we go with the media. So Actors Access is pretty strict on what they want. They want to see credited work only. So an independent film or just professional credited work. Okay, so unlike 800, do not upload a monologue on here unless it was in a TV show or, commercial. So just keep that in mind. I hate for you guys to spend money on something that we can't use. Okay, so also I recommend becoming proficient in either iMovie or Windows Movie Maker. There's tons of tutorials on YouTube that you can watch just to learn how to splice and cut things and merge them together, because again, casting is not going to watch a 3-minute long video. So with that being said, you want to make these little mini reels, and they're about 45 seconds, no longer than 45 seconds long. You want to group together similar roles. So if you're a comedian, if you're in a dramatic role, if you're a police officer, if you're a nurse, and a couple of different things, you'll want to group those together. Okay, that's very important, because when we go to submit you, and it's for example, if there's something where a compassionate nurse comes through and you played a compassionate nurse in a commercial, that's the little mini reel that we will submit for you for that project. So keep that in mind. Similar roles can be grouped together. Make sure that it is just you in this mini reel. We don't want casting to try to have to figure out who you are. So make sure that it's just the strongest part of the scene and it is showing just you. Be descriptive. If you are playing a compassionate nurse or a detective, whatever the case is, make sure that you are giving us that description. So very important to have media on here, and then also that slate shot, because the first group of people that casting looks at are those that have demo footage and a slate shot. So keep that in mind. All right, so that's Actors Access. Last but not least, we have Casting Networks. Now that you've done 800 and Actors Access, I feel like Casting Networks is pretty easy. So we're going to go here to View Resume. You are only required to have 2 photos, a commercial and a theatrical headshot on here. I have way too many photos because I changed my hair way too much, and I didn't want to pay $15 every time I changed my photo, or every time I changed my hair. So I have a subscription. But okay, so again, 2 shots, commercial and a theatrical. You're going to want to make sure you're filling out all of your information, your stats, your skills. Also, something that is very, very important. You want to add your resume here, and then also you're going to upload a PDF copy of your resume. So you'll click on Edit Resume, and you build it, same as on Actors Access. You click on Add New Heading, you'll add the heading, and let's say Film. You hit Save, and you'll add your credit here, and then you hit Save. Okay, super easy. And then at the very bottom, you click on it. If you don't have a resume up yet, it'll say Edit Resume or Add Resume. You click here and upload a PDF copy of your resume. Okay, so very, very important. 2 photos, your commercial and your theatrical, and 2 different versions of your resume. Your manually inputted resume, and then your PDF uploaded resume. Also, last but not least, for Casting Networks, please make sure that your default photo on Casting Networks is your theatrical headshot. All right, so I think we are all set, and if you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact me. I'm happy to help get you guys up and running on your sites. But I hope this was helpful and very informative. And I hope you guys book a lot of jobs because of your complete profiles. All right, thanks. Have a great week.